sandpapering again, so having given the first coat of varnish. Let me show you this one, for instance, made in 2008, not varnished, softwood, and it's okay, it's good, there's nothing wrong, so there's absolutely no need to varnish them. But here's one that I have varnished, which is altogether nice, to my mind anyway, altogether nicer. It's got a nice feel to it, it feels robust, it's going to stay clean, you know, you can dust it very easily, and so I think it's worthwhile. It makes the wood stronger, which is a big plus. So take these pigeons, the pigeons sit on top there. This is entirely varnished, and this is American cherry wood, which isn't desperately hard wood, but with the acrylic varnish it sort of transforms it into almost like a plastic piece. It's good, and it's going to last much longer than if it was plain wood. As you see, this is what a prototype I made for somebody. You can see that, and the wood here has got several coats of varnish, and it's almost like marble, and the body here it's something, you know, like the vinyl toys. It almost feels like that. To get these effects I use several types of varnish. First of all, to get the painted wood really smooth, I always use artist's gesso, which almost like plaster, and it fills in all the grain to give a really good sub base before I even paint it. And then on everything I give a coat of this, which is clear lacquer. This one's made by a company called Polyvine. I don't know whether you can get this in other countries, but I'm sure you can get the exact equivalent. It's like a white, quite thick water-based varnish. What I do, I spray it on, mainly because it can be quicker, but also if you use a brush you've got to be really careful, because it does soften the paint, particularly if you're using acrylic inks or airbrush paints, and it can, if you brush over more than once, it can smear, so you can make a bit of a mess with it. So if you can do use the spray gun, that's good. I dilute it, but about 40% water, give it a good shake to mix it up. Even then the gun can block because the water, I don't know, the water dries off, whatever, but it seems to get thicker with the air bubbling through it a bit, so it can be a bit frustrating. So that's the acrylic gloss. So I give a coat of that, and that's where I am now, just sanding that off, so then we got really smooth wood to work on. Then I give it another coat of the same. Generally doesn't need sanding again, it might just need the odd touch taking off, but not very much at all. And finally I apply either a third coat of the gloss, depending on what I'm trying to achieve, or I use a dead flat varnish. Well, this is where this finish comes from, or it's like a vinyl finish. It's got, you've got to be a bit careful with it. I think it's got like chalk or kaolin in it. If you put too much on and get drips, you can get little white marks, so you've got to be careful. There's another one that I use that's called a heavy duty one, and this one, it's almost, when you apply this one, it's almost like earthenware pottery. It's a really hard finish, but this is really prone to giving you white smearing. You certainly couldn't use it on those black bodies I showed you, but it can give a nice effect depending on what you look like. And but as I say, it's really feels hard finish you get with it. The cases I do in the gloss varnish, the figures usually I finish with the dead flat, and the gears etc. I use as a final vote some wax finish varnish, which is fantastic stuff. You get a really nice, this is a clear satin one, but you get a really nice waxy feel to it, and it clearly helps the cams, the cam followers and the gears. It helps them with lubrication. There's some downsides to it, of course. For a start, once you've varnished it, it does raise a nap, and okay, it's not difficult with the wood, plain wood, but once you've got these sort of things where you've got colours, it feels quite rough now, you've got to take it down without taking the paint off, because you've got a very thin layer of varnish. So I tend to do it with a nice flat little piece of very fine sandpaper. Do it very gently, because you just need to take the surface roughness off where it's raised the mat without taking the paint off. It's not too bad with it. If you use the paints out of the tubes, you tend not to raise a mat because that's thicker and you don't need to usually sand that. But when you've used the inks, this is sprayed on with ink, so that's not so easy. Also, it's a really nasty job to do. I do it in the garage. Not everybody's got a garage, and then it's very difficult to do spraying really, because you need all the protective gear on. You need a compressor. They're quite noisy. You need quite a bit of air pressure because it's quite thick, this varnish, and you're getting through quite a bit of it if you're doing a lot. It's certainly not worth getting it out and just do one small thing. It's half a day setting it all up, and then you need to have to be at plenty of room to hang everything out to dry. And as you see in the film here, I've got little bits hanging all over the garage. Summer dries really quickly, winter can be very cold, so it's not a nice job, and it takes a long time, but clearly I think it's worthwhile because I still do it, although as I say, don't look forward to it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.